at my school in world history. Teacher popped a quiz. He said, this is easy. Just name the 7 wonders of the world for me. So this is what we wrote. The pyramids of Egypt, the Taj Mahal, the Panama Canal, China's Great Wall, world famous landmarks, we counted them all. Yes, they got every vote. Then I noticed the shy girl who sits next to me hadn't turned in her list, it was plain to see. Teacher asked her what the trouble might be, and this is what she said. There's so many answers, I don't know what to say. Teacher said, maybe we can help find a way. Just read us your list. The girl hesitated, then this is what she read. To touch, to see, to taste, and to feel, to laugh, and to hear, to love while we're here. Ah, these are such wonders, wonderful wonders, 7 wonders of the world. Well, you could have heard a pin drop in that room. Nobody spoke, nobody moved, till someone asked the girl to say it once more through. And so she spoke again. To touch, to see, to taste, and to feel, to laugh, and to hear, to love while we're here. Ah, these are such wonders, wonderful wonders, 7 wonders of the world. It's a gentle reminder from a gentle soul. We take for granted gifts worth more than gold, and the richest treasures in life's plan cannot be built by our own hand. To touch, to see, to taste, and to feel, to laugh, and to hear, to love while we're here. Ah, these are such wonders, wonderful wonders, 7 wonders of the world, 7 wonders of the world.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity of London on this beautiful sunny Sunday morning. As we come together this morning, we're just grateful for the opportunity to spend this time with our Unity community and any visitors that we may have today. Welcome. You can't hear? Hello? All right, welcome, welcome. So we're just grateful to be here this morning, and we welcome anyone who might be here for the first time. We welcome those people that are online with us now on Zoom, where we usually are, Larry and I. And for those who may watch this later, especially those right here at 501 Nelson Street in London. So at Unity, we have our vision, and this vision is shared by most Unities worldwide. Our vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. We'll just wait till this conversation's done. Thanks, hon. Thank you. Okay. And our mission here at Unity is co-creating with Spirit to transform lives through shared spiritual awakening. And we do this by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers from all walks of life. We honor all religions and all paths to the only one. By being a loving, inclusive, supportive community, appreciating that we are all wonderfully made. And through self-expression, because without self-expression, life lacks spontaneity and joy, doesn't it? Without service to others, life lacks meaning and purpose. And at Unity here, we have our 5 principles. God is, we believe God and good are the same, and it's the only power everywhere present. The power of God is expressed as divine life, love, and wisdom. The I am. We believe humanity arises from and is an extension or expression of the only one power, God or good. The third, I think. Our feelings and ideas, attitudes, and beliefs we hold in mind are major influences on how we experience our life. And the fourth principle, I pray. By dedicating time every day to conscious reflection through prayer and meditation, it allows us to stay grounded spiritually. Prayer is a creative thinking that heightens the connection with God mind and then brings forth higher wisdom, healing, prosperity, and everything good. And the fifth principle, I live, our principle of life with a capital L. We believe we unleash the power of divine life, love, and wisdom when we strive to make every moment of every day, every word, thought, and action an intentional spiritual practice. And so, as Michael Jackson said, be the change. If you want to see change in the world, look in the mirror. I've always loved that song. And by being the change, by modeling a life of love, compassion for all people, we inspire people to make a positive difference. And at Unity Worldwide, our symbol for many years was coexist. We are all one in divine order, radiating love, compassion, and peace to all beings. Our prayer chaplains for today, we have Wilda online up in Manitoulin. Hello, Wilda. Thank you for being with us today. And here, right at 501 Nelson, Dawn will be meeting with anyone who desires prayer, one-on-one prayer after the service. Today, we're here to celebrate and honor fathers. We celebrate all fathers, grandfathers, stepfathers, father figures, anyone who fills that role in any way. We celebrate you today. We love you and we bless you. And today, following our service, we will gather back after our fellowship right here in this room at 12:30 to celebrate the life of our dear Lois Colbert. So we're just grateful for anybody that can stay for that. And as I say, we will start that at 12:30. Now, if we could just settle into prayer. And as we go into prayer, we bless everyone attending all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to this one God. Today, on this Father's Day, Father, Mother, God, we hold the power of love within all fathers and to all others worldwide that express their love in strength and kindness towards everyone and everything. We continue to hold peace for the world, praying that calm minds and loving hearts will prevail. We especially bless all fathers and their children and their families. We lift up anyone who is experiencing any challenges, knowing that they have the strength and the love of divine spirit surrounding them now. And let's take this opportunity for the next few seconds to hold anyone that you wish to bless in prayer and to speak their names quietly into this space. We bless our fellow Unity organizations, and today we especially bless Unity Vancouver and our very own Unity of London. And now I would like to welcome up today's platform assistant, Peggy Matzer, who is going to read the daily word for us and introduce our speaker today.
Good morning. Today's words is Father's blessing. I bless all fathers with thoughts of gratitude. I am grateful for fathers, grandfathers, stepfathers, and all father figures who care for children and families. I pray they are called always to follow their guidance and to act to express divine love. I envision their hearts and minds opening to receive blessings of strength, patience, and tenderness. I see them supported in all they are called upon to do and comforted during times of struggle. I pray also for children young and old as they remember their fathers. May cherished memories bring smiles and warmth, and may the love remain alive forever in hearts and minds. And for all those on a healing or forgiveness journey, I pray that divine love leads and comforts them on a path toward loving peace. May the peace and love of God fill their hearts today and every day. The Lord bless you and keep you. Numbers chapter 6, verse 24. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone familiar to all of us. We haven't had the pleasure of having him speak for a while. Larry Breaux started attending Unity of Panama City, Florida in 1998. He soon became intimately involved with all activities, spiritual courses, and administration of his new spiritual home. Over the years, Larry has served in every position on the board of directors at Unity of Panama City and Unity of London. Larry thinks of himself as a servant of Unity New Thought Movement and its fellowship. With his presentation entitled Fatherhood, What's Love Got to Do with It? Please join me in welcoming Larry Breaux.
Thank you, Chris, for, oh, you hear me okay? Yep. Thank you, Chris, for the wonderful railing. There are a lot of folks in our community that will benefit from that. My wife being one of them. This is exactly where Catherine fell off, right there, and broke her arm. So a little late, but good job, buddy. How great it is to see so many people sitting here today. I believe this, since all the mess we've gone through in the last couple of years, it's been a struggle to get people out and fill the seats, but wow, this is awesome. And I would truly love to see, even if we're looking in from Zoom, to see this many seats filled and so many smiling faces every Sunday. That would be wonderful. Get our unity movement juiced up again, get it flowing good and strong. That would be awesome. So anyway, Father's Day. What's love got to do with it? You know, it takes not much for a man to become a father. The word father actually comes from, I believe it's a German word for father, which means a man who begets a child. But it takes a lot more than that to be a dad. I mean, a lot of us are fathers, me included. We might not be the best dads in the world. What did you think about that opening song? Did you like that? Did you really listen to the words? So there was one child in that school that was totally different than everybody else. Now, had that child gone home and said what happened to them at school that day, that they, and if they said, wow, I got it all wrong, the 7 wonders of the world, I had no clue. And this is what I said. How would I, as a parent, look at that child and say, you know, what are the options here? How could you not know the 7 wonders of the world? Everybody knows that. But to think that somebody like that can think outside the box and be totally different than everybody else doesn't mean she's not smart. Doesn't mean she doesn't know anything. Doesn't mean a lot of those things. It means that that child is maybe much more spiritually connected than the rest of it. First time I heard that song, I thought, wow, what a beautiful way to look at the world. Some people think of Father's Day more on the religious side, like God is the father. In my research, a lot of religions talk about God as the father and Jesus is our brother. And that's pretty cool. But this is going to be more about our physical fatherhood and what Father's Day is all about here on the face of the earth. So I need to get ready for this talk. I got tips from Pauline, yes. In fact, when Pauline asked me to do this talk for Father's Day, I said, jokingly, I said, Pauline, is that because the last Father's Day talk I did was so bad I'm getting a do-over? And anyway, these shoes are significant in that they're too small for my feet. I need a shoehorn. Okay, and the necessary necktie. Practice that. And of course, the father's hat. Okay. Not working. No. You want to advance the next slide, Lorraine? It's not working. There we go. Okay, so in my research, I wanted to find out all the metaphysical sayings that Charles Fillmore had about Father's Day and being a father and all that kind of stuff. And it was really quite interesting because there is absolutely nothing in all of the archives of Unity about fathers or Father's Day, which is kind of interesting. So I had to dig into that a little bit deeper. In that picture is, of course, Charles, Myrtle, and their 3 sons. They did have 3 sons, Lowell, John, and Rickard. Lowell and John, they followed in the Unity footsteps and took over, some of the publications and writing and just all the odd jobs around Unity Village. Anybody that's been to Unity Village would understand just how much work went on there in spreading the word worldwide on New Thought. So one of them was also very much involved in the implementation of the radio, and they used to broadcast service and messages worldwide on shortwave radio. Now, Rickert, he was the architect. He was the only one that went to higher education, and he got a degree in architecture and studied in Europe. And if you ever get to Unity Village, you'd understand, what he did design-wise, because Unity Village is just a spectacular display of really neat architecture. So anyway, there's nothing metaphysical there, but when we're talking about fathers, I think we can really work on some of our principles. Imagination, well, doesn't take a lot of imagination to be a dad, but it definitely takes some wisdom, strength, understanding, and love. One of our principles, to see the face of God in everyone. We think about that, at least I do. I think about when I meet somebody in the street, can I see the face of God in them? But then it struck me, I said, when I look at my kids and they've done something I don't really agree with, can I look at them and see the face of God in them? And that's a pretty interesting concept. If you really, I don't know if it shook you, it might shake you the way it did me, but it's an interesting way to look at your relationship with your kids. So anyway, Father's Day actually started in 1909, which I went back and I went, well, no wonder Charles Fillmore didn't have much to say about Father's Day, because it really didn't even start till he was well on his way to, Unity Village, and his children were born and all that stuff. Father's Day started by a lady named Sonora Dodd, who had 5 brothers and was raised by their father. Her mother died, giving childbirth to the youngest brother. So in the early 1900s, they started Mother's Day. And she said, hey, wait a minute. My dad is an awesome guy. He's raised 6 kids. And why doesn't he get a special day? So it was unofficially started back, the very first one was in 1910. And it got officially recognized in 1972 by President Nixon, believe it or not. That's how long it took to become actually registered as a national holiday. The Catholics, they do celebrate, they call it the Day of St. Joseph on March the 19th. And that is the more of the religious Father's Day celebration. So I personally don't think of myself as a very good father. And, so one of the things I wanted to do was, I'll just skip through this one, I don't need that. The training we get to be fathers is pretty pathetic, isn't it? It's kind of like the training you get at school to be a financial whatever advisor or whatever. I mean, there's so many things we don't learn except by, what it's difficult to talk about some of this stuff because it really, most of the time I just let it go and I don't even think about it. But when when I'm facing a proposition of talking about things where I feel lacking in many ways, it's kind of like that saying, if you want to learn something, you teach it. It's kind of like that. So you do the research and you find, how do you learn to become a father? Well, the slide says it all, really. We learn from our fathers. And I don't know about you guys, but my father, we'll get a little bit personal here now. My father was a good guy. I mean, he provided a good home. We always had food. We always had clothes. But I never felt that really supported. And when I was younger, I was, a fairly active athlete. I played hockey. My dad never once in his entire life drove me to the hockey arena. I could put my kit on my back and my stick in my hand and walk to the arena if I wanted to play hockey. 1 year in high school, I was the athlete of the year. And not because I was good at anything, but I did everything. I was on the hockey team, I was on the football team, I played in the volleyball team, I was in gymnastics, ping pong, I mean, you name it, I was in it. But Dad never saw one of my games of anything. And I always thought that was, I don't know. I wasn't quite sure what to think of that back then. I'm gonna hit this again later on, but it's something when you look back at it, when it finally hits you, you go, So how did your father convey love to you? I think there's a lot of difference between when we grew up, what fathers were like and what they're like today. I mean, I think most of you would agree with that things are quite different. I love this slide. Come on, go. There we go. He has pictures where his money used to be. Yeah, so what it says is a father carries pictures where his money used to be. And that's a little quote from Steve Martin. I really like that one. What it talks about to me is the sacrifice. If you're ready to be a father and a dad, then you're ready to make a sacrifice for your kids. So, are you a good father? Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. So what that says to me, my question when I read that is, well, how do I do that? And when I investigate a little further, what it says to me is basically you just got to give your kids, through example, the best route to take. And if they take it, great. And if they don't, well, then what do you do? We'll think about that later. So are you a good father, great father, exceptional father? I thought I'd talk about that a little bit. We'll just leave that picture up there for now and let you guys think about who that is. So what makes an exceptional father? Well, the number one thing I think that you have to do right off the bat is name your kid properly. You guys all familiar with the Johnny Cash tune, A Boy Named Sue? My name is Sue. How do you do? Right? And then he got in a fight with his father. that came up because we were talking with a dear friend not too long ago, and their last name is Storms. And their son was going to name the baby, they're talking about naming the baby Reign, Rainstorms. And she said, if it's a boy, they were thinking of thunder. And I'm like, why would you do that to your child? And as I'm talking to people over the last week, there are some amazing, I bet we all have a story of a kid in school that got ridiculed because of their name. A friend that we're staying with had there was a boy in school, and his last name was Hood, and his parents actually named him Rob. So to me, that's number one failure as a father, right? How can you do that to a child? What was the one, Barb? Yeah. Dunkin' Toast. Anyway, enough said about that. Be kind. Yeah. I think we're going to see some examples here soon, but I think you're going to see the difference between, what makes an exceptional father and what kind of makes a parent. But in my personal opinion, I think it's about spending quality time nurturing their interests, the child's interests, not your own. And that's a big downfall on my part where, I was always most important when my kids were around, and whatever they had to do was kind of secondary. And I think the really big key thing is to love them for who they are. Because all kids are different. How many of you know a family and maybe have 3 or 4 kids, and out of those kids, 2 of them are exceptional students, do what they're told, they go through school, they get a good job, and then you got, other kids that are raised in the same family at the same time, same parents, same upbringing, and they don't do so good. They're not good at school. They don't care about school. It's a waste of their time. They don't end up, they're not going to work for the man. You know what I'm talking about. It's you wonder how that's different. But do you have the capacity? Do I have the capacity? Do any of us have the capacity to love that child, even though they don't match up to what the other children did? Do they deserve any less love? Okay, so you've had long enough time to look at this. Any guesses who it is? All right. Fred McMurray, my 3 sons. Great dad? Yeah. He had a couple of good kids and one that was kind of like, what would we call him? In unity, we would say an indigo child. How about this guy? Robert Young, excellent. Father knows best. Was he a good dad? Awesome dad back in those days, right? How about this guy? Yeah, you can't say, you know what all right. Hugh Beaumont, he was Ward Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver. So there was another family that had Wally Cleaver, who was the athlete and the star and very popular. And then they had Beaver Cleaver. There's another name for you, right? Beaver Cleaver. There you go. Anyway, so those are the days, those are the fathers of yesteryear. And I think we would all say that these examples that we had in our lives were good fathers. So we could learn something from them. Here's where we're at today. Anybody watching Yellowstone? You know what I'm talking about. This is Kevin Costner, plays a part in a series where he is the patriarch of a family that runs a big ranch. And if you're really spiritually rooted, it might be tough for you to watch this once in a while. It's very interesting father with children that are very different and how he treats them differently. And it's anyway, totally different than what we were looking at 2 slides ago. How about this guy, James Gandolfini, that played Tony Soprano. And I remember watching this back in the day and saying, that's amazing. This guy runs the New Jersey crime mob, right? And he can't handle his son and daughter. They're absolutely crazy, uncontrollable, and do whatever the heck they want. And then this one, whoa, Marty Byrde. There's a show called Ozark. And Marty Byrde, I mean, he looks like a perfect gentleman in his business suit and stuff. He looks like he's a financial advisor, money mover, who starts working for the drug cartel. And he's got 2 kids. And boy, what a mess. What a mess his whole family gets into because of his fatherhood. Now, are these last 3, are they an example of what you'd like in a father? I believe probably not. But what I wanted to kind of show here is how things have changed from what we saw in TV and probably more in our actual lives of fathers, and what we're getting presented with today, what's out there. I'm not going to say that in these shows and in life today, fathers don't love their children. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's a totally different world. It's a totally different world. And I think, if anything, we have to love our kids more. My own personal belief, obviously. So this is what I learned about my dad. When I was young, I felt like he really didn't care about me, and he didn't know enough. You know what kids are like when they're at that 14 to about 16, 18 range? Yeah. Parents don't know anything. But then, boy, did he get smart by the time I was 21, 22. And what I've come to realize today is that what my dad did was he forced me to be independent. He forced me to go out and get what I wanted. If I wanted to play hockey, here's your stuff, put it on your back, you know where the arena is, have a good time. And, when I look back at that now, I thank him for not just driving me to the arena every Saturday or supporting me through all this. If I wanted to do something, he taught me how to go out and do it. I'm going to talk quickly about a father in our family. And he has 2 children that are handicapped, one physically, one mentally. And he is such a super example of loving a child for who they are. 100% support for them. Anything they want to do, he supports them. The mentally handicapped girl just recently got a job. She's working full time. It's not anything out of this world exceptional, but to this child, it's amazing. And to my cousins, his support for that girl. I mean, it's just something that I just, every time I hear stories about it, it just really makes me feel like he knows what he's doing. I want to tell you a story about a guy that was a friend of mine when I was younger. His name was John. And John was an oops child, but at the back end of the marriage. So he had an older brother. By the time John came along and was getting into school, his brother was graduating university, became a very well-known and excellent lawyer. And of course, yada, 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 had all the trimmings and all the accolades that come with that. John was not a very good student. He was a really nice guy. He was left-handed. His parents never really wanted him. And they talked him down all the time about how he didn't meet up to his brother. He could never be good enough. And it didn't matter. He was good at a lot of things. He was a great athlete. And school wasn't that all important to him. But I mean, he was smart enough. I mean, he could pass school, but he wasn't a great student. And that's because he didn't have the aptitude and the desire. But anyway, make a long story short, by the time John was 18, he'd had enough and he ended his life. And it was really sad because he was such a popular, well-loved guy. He was very loved, except by his mom and dad. It's just something that's always kind of haunted me. Then I've got my son-in-law, who's a stay-at-home dad. My daughter, some of you know, my daughter's a dentist. She's done very well, has her own practice. And my son-in-law has been a stay-at-home dad, but man, oh man, you could not have a better dad. Always with the kids, always supporting them in whatever they do. And it's really, when I see them, it is true love because he lets these kids be who they are. He doesn't try to shape them into any preconceived form or whatever. So what makes an exceptional father in my mind? I think it's, you know, if the father wanted a hockey player, but he got an artist, you love the child anyway. Oh, I got to go back to my son-in-law. When my daughter and Dave got married, he said he wanted to have enough kids to have his own hockey team. He's a hockey nut. Anyway, so we had Ryan. They had Ryan, our first grandson. And the next one was Megan. And the first thing I said to him, I says, well, there goes your hockey team. You know what his response was? Well, we need a goalie. Anyway, all in Dave and Melissa's family, there's 3 kids, and they all play hockey. 2 of them are girls. Actually, the girls are just about as good a hockey player as the boy is. So what if you wanted a child to follow you in your footsteps and run the family business? But they didn't want to. They wanted to go on to other things. Can you love them just as much? What if you wanted a strong and wise son, but maybe he was born with some sort of handicap? Could you still love that child? Samuel 7:14-15 says, I will be a father to him, and he'll be a son to me. When he does wrong, I'll discipline him in the usual ways, the pitfalls and obstacles of this mortal life, but I'll never remove my gracious love from him. So in summary, all I got to say is, what's love got to do with it? Everything. It's all about love. So take that into meditation. Breath. Heart is Father. Fatherhood is holy. Promises of God. Fathers, our children off on the way to the and when they are old, take you and declare as we come back, I'd like you to think about your children, whether you're the father or the stepfather, grandfather, great grandfather, whatever it might be. Just think about how you could love them just a little bit more today. And let's have the rest of the day as a great, great Father's Day.
Well, I've thanked a few speakers in my day, but this one feels different. Ah, thank you. Larry, where did you go? I can't even see you. There he is. Thank you. Thank you. As someone who has spent the last 32 years cohabitating with you, I just honor the courage that it took for you to share this with us today, because I truly know that of one thing that you have questioned yourself on in your life is, could I have been a better dad? And I'm just here to say, you're an awesome dad. You're not a helicopter dad, but you're an awesome dad. And I think this room is filled with men who have done nothing but their best. So I thank you for a message that blessed us. The hat that Larry had on today was from Barb Rand's dad. The tie that he had on today was from one of his kids back when you gave your dad a tie for Father's Day. And those god-awful white shoes were his dad's. That he will not throw away. And of course, I never will either. So thank you, Larry Bro. And now for a beautiful song called the Unity Song. And I'm going to mention to you that it is not from Unity. This was not from a Unity musical group or composer, because it's important for us to know that we're not the only ones that have this spirit going for us. So now we'll hear, I thought it was going to be the Unity Song. Nope, it's going to be I Choose Love. There you go.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Yes, I do. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Yeah, we choose love. We are love. That's all we are. So let's take a moment to thank the source of our abundance, appreciating the many who allow the supply to continue to flow through us, for us, and from Spirit. The form of financial gifts, as well as sharing of our time, our talents, along with our treasures. We thank those who give spontaneously, and we thank those who give regularly. We are grateful to all newcomers for sharing your time with us here today. And we appreciate you, and we hope that you will make the choice to return. And now for our prayer for protection. Maybe. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to do our peace song, and then we'll just have a brief closing message. We are not going to win any awards for that one. Isn't that awesome? So we so appreciate you sharing your time with us today. We welcome all newcomers. We're grateful for all those who chose to offer to Source that nurtures us spiritually. And we honor our many members who have helped to prepare our place today and to come to share their time, talent, and abundance. Please join us in the fellowship room out here. We will have some light refreshments, and then at 12:30 sharp, we will be beginning the celebration of life for Lois. Thank you.